This godless communism. Which of the communist leaders would take over the dead Lenin's leadership? Would it be Trotsky, Stalin, Zinoviev? In the dictatorship, there is no provision for who will be the next leader. I, Joseph Stalin, can grab Lenin's power by using the methods and thought he and Marx left behind them. I must be cunning and ruthless. Stalin had begun his political career at the age of 16. You are supposed to be studying for the Orthodox priesthood, yet you agree with the teachings of Marx and reject the belief in God. You are hereby expelled from school. From 1902 to 1913, he was imprisoned 6 times. You have planned bank robberies for the Bolsheviks. For activities against the government, you will be detained again. Stalin took little part in the revolution of 1917, but soon after it was over, that is Joseph Stalin, the new co-editor of the government newspaper Pravda. They say he is a vicious man. Lenin has also named him General Secretary of the Communist Party. The other editor of Pravda was Leo Kamenev. He too had dreams of someday taking Lenin's place. But Stalin was already making plans. When Lenin dies, Trotsky will be my chief opponent for power. Now is the time to prepare. I will be friendly with Kamenev and Zinoviev, the head of the Comintern. At the same time, he saw that Trotsky's friends were removed from important government posts. Comrade Trotsky, both of us have been removed from other posts by Stalin. As General Secretary of the party, he can make such changes. But don't worry, we will win out in the end. Following Lenin's death, Stalin's strength became more apparent. Zinoviev and Kamenev joined with Trotsky to plan for Stalin's defeat. But it was already too late. Stalin grabbed Lenin's power. Stalin had Trotsky banished from Russia. He was followed from country to country by Stalin's secret police. Finally, in 1940, he was killed by a Stalin agent in Mexico. As for Kamenev and Zinoviev, they were both demoted and eventually executed because of their activities. Stalin proceeded to build himself up as an omnipotent leader through clever use of propaganda. Long live Stalin! Stalin is our savior. Stalin is a father to us all. Welcome to the city of Stalingrad. He encouraged growth of the Communist Youth League. In a few years, you will be allowed to join the Communist Party. But first, you must learn that Stalin and the party are your gods. One of the men who helped most in building up the idea of an all-powerful Stalin was Nikita Khrushchev. Long live the greatest genius of humanity, our teacher and leader, victoriously guiding us toward communism, our beloved Stalin. At the same time, Stalin strengthened his power through an increase of terror. You heard me. You will arrest anyone suspected of disagreement with me. When in doubt, arrest! A nighttime knock at the door became the most feared sound in Russia. Someone's at the door! It must be the secret police. They have followed me all day long. I must have said something wrong to someone. Children were particularly urged to report any anti-communist talk. The communists said they'd make things better. Instead, they are worse. I'll have to report this to my youth leader. In fact, today there stands in a Moscow park a statue of a young Pavlik Morozov, declared a communist hero because he told the Reds about his anti-communist parents. Corrective labor camps were begun. Millions of Russians considered dangerous by Stalin were sent to work in them. These slaves were forced to work on new public projects like dams, canals, and railroads. Lenin's new economic policy was halted. Stalin has decreed that you will no longer work your own land. It has been taken back as the property of the state. A series of collective farms were set up. They are sending my whole family to this farm of theirs. They are sending thousands of us, and everything we produce will be turned over to the government. The peasants were allowed only 2 pieces of property. Well, at least we are allowed a cow and a vegetable garden for our own. Yes, but not even the house is ours, and they take everything else we grow. Before long, the peasants are angry. They are killing and burning their cattle and crops. We'll put a stop to that. But cattle and crops were destroyed so thoroughly by the peasants that a terrible famine spread over a large part of Russia. Perhaps this will teach the government not to take our property from us. As a result, millions of Russians starved to death. Stalin refused help from other countries. I will not accept help. If I do, it will be the same as admitting communism is a failure. Instead, Stalin spread more terror among the people. Another trainload of people who defied Stalin. They should have known better. Now they will die in Siberia. The people were forced to submit. Well, at least we have food again. Now my family eats at the price of my freedom. And within the walls of the Kremlin, now we must strengthen Russia so that it can lead the spread of communism all over the world. To be continued in the next installment of this Godless Communism.